The first Sabbath or the first day of the week? The second step of analysis. What is the correct literal rendering of the Greek phrase mίαν σαββάτων in Matthew 28:1? In this video I will analyze how Myles Ketelsen and his team translated the Greek phrase μίαν σαββάτων in Matthew 28:1. We will see that they gave incorrect literal rendering of this phrase. First, let's listen again to what Myles says.
You can see the Greek, the literal rendering of it out, and then how the ESV in this case renders it.
You can see on the screen the slide with this literal rendering. Now, after the Sabbath, as the first day Sabbath began to dawn. Literal translation is a flexible concept. Only in some cases it is possible to give absolutely literal translation in the strictest sense, because the grammars of two languages usually are not identical in every detail. That's why I will concentrate on the crucial points. I will not analyze whole sentence, but only how the Greek phrase eis mίαν σαββάτων is rendered here. This Greek phrase composed of three words. The first one, eis, is a preposition which here means into. It is used only with accusative case. So, logically, there must be in the phrase the word in accusative. The very next word is in accusative. It is μίαν, which is feminine singular accusative, of the Greek numeral μία, 1 first. In this context, it functions as an ordinal numeral. That's why it should be translated as first, but the noun which it modifies is lacking. From the context, it is clear that this noun is the Greek word emera, day. This noun is feminine, so Matthew meant into the first day. The third word in the Greek phrase is σαββάτων, which is neuter plural genitive. This fact is an additional evidence that the Greek numeral μίαν here does not modify the word σαββάτων. In order to do it, μίαν must agree with σαββάτων in gender, number, and case. But it is not the case here. The genitive case of σαββάτων shows that it stands in possessional relation with the implied word emera, day. This relation should be expressed in English translation by using the preposition of, which in English is an equivalent of the Greek genitive case. So, the correct literal translation of the Greek phrase eis mίαν σαββάτων is into the first day of the Sabbath. I put the definite article and the word day into brackets to show that these words are not present in the original text. Please notice that the word Sabbath in plural. It is so because the Greek word σαββάτων is in plural. While it is true that the Greek plural word sabbata can signify a singular Sabbath, in the strictly literal translation we should render it as plural. Let's compare my literal translation with the interlinear literal translation of the Greek New Testament, 1894, published by Arthur Hintz and Company, New York. Now, late on the Sabbath, as it was getting dusk toward the first day of the week, came Mary the Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchre. As you see, this translation also renders the genitive case of the Greek word σαββάτων by using the English preposition of and supplies the lacking definite articles and the word day, putting them in brackets. But Myles left the preposition of out. I think that he did so because he followed the Dr. Kaiser's claim that the genitive case of the Greek word Sabbathon, both in singular and plural, functions as a nominative case. But it is not true. I will show the falsity of such understanding of the function of the genitive of Sabbathon in one of my following videos. So, we cannot render the genitive of Sabbathon as nominative and translate it into English as simply Sabbaths, omitting the preposition of. It would be violation of the grammatical laws of the Greek language. But Myles violated them and gave his incorrect literal rendering the first day Sabbath. In order to translate as he did, we must have in the original Greek text a different grammatical construction. It should be eis Sabbata mias hemeras, into the Sabbaths of the first day. In this phrase, Sabbata is in the plural accusative and agrees with the preposition eis into mias hemeras in singular genitive, while in English the phrases the first day Sabbath and the Sabbaths of the first day have the same meaning. Such reversal does not work in Greek because the meaning would change. You cannot simply put mia hemera, the first day, before the noun in plural genitive sabbaton, or the Sabbaths, in order to get the same meaning, the first day Sabbath. Instead, you will get entirely different meaning, the first day of the Sabbath. For clearer explanation, I will give another example. In English, the phrases the resurrection day and the day of the resurrection have the same meaning, but in Greek such reversal does not work. The Greek phrase hemera tes Anastasios, the day of the resurrection, can be translated as the resurrection day, but if we reverse this phrase we get a different meaning. He Anastasis tes hemeras, the resurrection of the day. In such phrases, the second noun must be always in genitive, while the first one may be in any case. The same situation is in the phrase mia sabbaton. Sabbaton is always in genitive, but mia, as well as the implied word hemera, day, may be in any case. Myles, by giving his rendering the first day Sabbath, violated the grammatical laws of the Greek language and showed that he or his team don't understand the function of the Greek genitive in the grammatical construction noun plus noun in genitive. He himself acknowledged that he is not a Greek grammarian.
So the purpose in saying this is to not appear like I'm some Greek grammarian. I'm not. But I've tried digging into both sides of the discussion.
Conclusion. The correct literal rendering of the Greek phrase mίαν σαββάτων in Matthew 28:1 is the first day of the Sabbaths, and it has no meaning the first day Sabbath. On the contrary, it has the meaning the first day which belongs to the Sabbaths, plural. In the next video, we will see can the same identical word in the same grammatical form, in the same context, be translated differently.